like a man. Lord, that lamb just moved on that stand. I got movement in the cellars, I got footsteps in the hall. There's no time to waste, I better make some calls. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. This old house has a long history. It should be real, real good for activity. And we got the house wired for sound and got motion alarms setting all around. Got a box full of batteries ready to go, and everyone's itching to start this show. Got our logo tees, driving black SUVs, and that one bald guy with a slick goatee. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. Well, there's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is your big brother Mike calling. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. That's right. Go get 'em, boys!
And welcome, everybody. Maybe I'll get in here. Welcome to PEN.
Welcome to PEMA TV, Friday, February 1st, 2013. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day. If it pops up on your Skype, 6 more weeks of winter.
Yep, I say they just shoot him when he comes out of the hole and fry him up.
He's a rodent, not a meteorologist.
Oh, well, people have been putting a lot of faith in him over a few years.
No, it's the whole twist on words. I told you this.
Okay.
If he sees his shadow, it's 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't see his shadow, it's 6 weeks till spring. Same thing.
Yeah. So, pretty much people are getting dressed up to watch a rodent crawl out of a hole.
Yes.
Nice. 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 We've celebrated less.
Yeah, we have.
Lots of good stuff going on, as you can see from everybody. The ticker running across the bottom of the screen. We're going to be talking about some festivals and stuff that we've got coming up, and the links are popping up on the link below. Click it on there and it'll take you right there, right on the player. First of all, we want to talk about what we have going on in May at
Lower Catskills Paracon, May 3rd and 4th at the Shanley Hotel and the building right across the street. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of it. It's a senior center.
And we will be there. Several of our hosts here from the network will be here.
Be there.
Here, there, everywhere.
We have some great speakers. We have some really good vendors coming in. Mm-hmm. We've already sold out the Bordello area.
Yeah.
And that means rooms are limited. I think we only have 2 or 3 left in the 2nd floor deluxe section, premium section, and then we have the investigating rooms open.
Yep.
So grab them quick, grab them fast, and we're also running low on booths with electricity. So if you need a booth with electricity, you better get in here quick.
Better hurry, 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 hurry. And that way you'll be happy, happy, happy. But yeah, we've also got John Tinney will be there, Patty Zakas will be there, David Roundtree, Tracy Ray will be there.
Mary Gaspero doing her very first ever speaking appearance on her new book.
Yep, it's going to be exciting.
Betty Comerford, Steve Wilson. Who am I
And they're
missing?
they're investigators with a shamanistic experience, and don't forget Vesuvius Investigations.
There you go.
With Athena Veronis and Deborah Heinecker. You didn't think I'd get it, did you? They will be there. They will be there talking about their escapades and adventures.
And how they do things.
Yeah. They were very similar setup to the Dead Files. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, you just got to show up to believe
you got to meet them.
They're
Words cannot do them justice.
They're very fun in their own way.
Yes, they are. Once again, that's the Lower Catskills Paracon, May 3rd and 4th at the Haunted Shanley Hotel. Be sure to get your tickets. Links are on the ticker below.
And from what I hear, just because I'm going to throw it out there, Kelly Little Green Men is ramping up quick and hard.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
That is in Kelly, Kentucky in August. The second or third weekend. I'm not sure exactly the date yet. It's around the 18th, 19th.
But first up tonight, we are joined by a new friend here in East Texas. She is here because...
she is the spokesman for...
Yes. The Texas Paranormal Unity Fest, which will be held March 23rd at the Waxahachie Civic Center in Waxahachie, Texas. We are joined by Miss Shonda Kincaid. Shonda, are you out there?
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you guys?
If I was a puppy, I'd need two tails. So
Cool.
let everybody know what's going on. I know we've been playing the commercial here on the network, but let everybody know what's going on with what's happening at the Unity Fest.
Yeah, we have it coming up, like you said, March 23rd. It's going to be a phenomenal event. I actually attended the one last year, and we had a lot of fun. It was actually in a different location last year, but this year it's a little bit more local. It's being held at the Waxahachie Civic Center. We've got a lot of great speakers, workshops, vendors, and investigations. And the whole thing is actually a charity event for breast cancer research. And I know everybody out there knows someone or has had someone, loved one in their family or someone close to them who has had cancer and survived it or has lost someone from cancer. I know I've had about 6 in my family alone. So it's for a very good cause. So we actually have a charity auction that we'll be having there. And the A&E Storage Wars Walt Cade is actually going to be there to do the auction for us. So that's going to be awesome.
And that is, for everybody watching us right now, that is the big white hat behind her head over here.
I can't get
there
over
he is.
There
he is.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. We got some phenomenal folks. Some people y'all have already mentioned that's going to be a golf conference there in May. We're going to have David Roundtree, Psychic Medium Dakota Lawrence, Tracy Ray, cryptozoologist, King Gerhard, Dead Paranormal Radio, George Lopez, Joe Cuto and Kel Kelly, obviously Fort Worth Paranormal, awesome folks there. The team that I'm on, Unknown Paranormal, we're actually going to be there as well. We have Jeremy Jones and Richard Contreras with Paranology, author Martha Hazard Decker, Dr. Rita Louise, author Lyle Blackburn, Anthony Zepeda, Michael Graves, and of course you guys are going to be there too, Eric and Sam, my new buddies. So yeah, it's going to be a fantastic event. I'm really looking forward to it, and I pretty much have met or know most of the people, the speakers that are going to be there, and they're just phenomenal people. I mean, amazing people. I've been in the paranormal field about a year now, and I'm telling you, these are some of the best people I've met. To get together all in one place, it's going to be a blast. I guarantee you.
Yeah, it looks like an absolutely great lineup. I'm sitting there watching.
All right, taking them.
sitting there watching things, but there's also supposed to be a pre-party the night before and the investigation that night afterwards.
Right. We're having the pre-party. It's going to be at the Twisted Frog Bar and Grill on that Friday night, and then Saturday night after closing, we're going to be investigating the Twisted Frog. And that building was built in the 1800s and it has never been investigated before. So we're really excited about that, you know, to kind of pop the investigating theory of any building, you know. Kind of exciting for paranormal investigators, so it ought to be awesome.
Hey, anything with the name Frog in it.
Well, that and the whole concept of the festival too is bringing everybody together. You know, that should be commended. I know Becca's driving herself nuts setting this up. She's frazzled, to say the least, with this. But the whole concept of this, I think people should take a little more seriously.
Definitely. Oh yeah. Granted, it is for a good cause for the breast cancer research part of it, but like you said, the name, the purpose is in the title, really, unity. It couldn't be more about people coming together, not only for a good cause, but also, when you see the different people that come, there's so many people in the field, you never know who knows this person from there, or who's had, you know, any kind of negative experience with this person over there. But for everybody to be able to come together and for a good cause and for unity, and to show that no matter who you are, no matter what you believe, where you come from, what you do in this field, we're able to put all of that negative, you know, and drama to the side and say, hey, this is what we're about. We're about unity. We're here to help each other. We're here to learn from each other. And we're here to share this experience so that we all can grow and learn in this field together, and then pass that on to other people as well. So I commend anybody who's willing to pull something like this together. If anybody can, it's definitely Becca. I mean, she's an amazing person, one of my really good friends, and I love her to death. So I really commend her for stepping out there and actually putting herself into the position to say, hey, this is what this should be about, regardless of what else is going on around you. Put all that aside, you know, and I hear people say all the time, like, well, I would go, but I'm not really for the whole concept of unity. I believe in it, but I don't believe it actually works. Well, with that attitude, it's not going to work, is my response. Because, you know, I mean, I don't know, these people in their ego sometimes just really fries on me, but what makes us better people is to be able to put that aside for the betterment of not only the field, but for someone else who may need what we have to share with the world, whether it be our experience, our wisdom, you know, our gifts, or whatever it may be. So,
well, and now's about the perfect time too, with all the paradrama going on Facebook and stuff. We need to stand strong now more than ever.
It's true.
Exactly. Okay, which is the reason I haven't really been on Facebook a whole lot lately, to be honest. You think, oh, I can't live without it, I miss it, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And the thing is, you spend a couple of days away from it, and then you get back on there, and it's like, it's still drama, but it's different drama. So it's like ever-changing every day. And I'm like, really, people, could you just not do that? I mean, it's not that hard to change the frame of mind, you know, just to say, you know what, I'm not going to be negative today. And I've been experimenting with that myself, actually, is trying to put more positive thoughts out there. And I know from experience that whatever you put out there, whatever your mindset is, your thought process is, that's what you're going to get back. And the more positive I've been, the more positive I've been receiving. So, and that's why I try to surround myself with people who are positive thinkers and who are inspirational and like to lift people up rather than tear people down to build themselves up. Because who wants to be somebody from doing that? Yeah, I sure don't. So,
yeah, we've stayed completely
out of it. I'm really honored to be involved in the Unity Festival, because I like to be able to bring people together for a good cause, and to show, to set an example for other people, to say, hey, it doesn't have to be like that. You know, let's come together as one, because that's what we are. We're all one.
Yeah, this is it's time for us to maybe stand up and lead by example, you know what I mean? For
Exactly.
those of us that are, and granted, we haven't been out in the field as much because of me, but for those that are out in the field doing the work, you know, a lot of people place a lot of emphasis on how can I say this? How well you've done in the media. Let's leave it at that.
It's a popularity contest.
But what it really should boil down to is how are you helping everybody else? In my opinion, and
Exactly.
a lot of the people that are coming to this festival, it's not an ego stroke type of thing. These are hardworking, in the field, you know, sitting in the dirty basements kind of people. They're the ones getting after it, and that's to be committed to. And if we can get along, that just proves that it is possible.
Right, and you know, who doesn't love to laugh? You know, that cliche, laughter is the best medicine. That's really the truth. I mean, who doesn't love to laugh? Who doesn't love to feel good? So instead of trying to make someone else feel bad to make yourself feel better, making other people feel good will make you feel 1,000,000,000,000 times better than making someone feel bad ever will do. I guarantee that. And yeah, I mean, people. And it's not a competition either, you know. That's what really irks me is, like I said, I've always been in the field I've been interested and kind of done my own thing since about 99, and I've actually joined a team and been a part of the paranormal field for more of a year. And it's astounding, some of the stuff that I see, and I hear these people's stories that have been in the field for 15, 20, 25 years, and I'm going, how did you even stand it for that long? But then I have to stop and ask myself, I know how they did, because they're trying to make a difference. And if you quit and run away, then that's just lowering yourself to someone else's level.
It's true.
So I definitely don't want to do that. The only thing that I could do is maintain, my faith and my strength and my belief that there are good people out there, and we all have something to share. We all have something to learn from each other. So, just gotta press on, put the ego aside. It's not a competition, and which is really cool, because I have something to say about the unknown paranormal executive car, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But we're kind of switching things up a little bit with our conference this year, so I'm really excited about that too. But yeah, I mean, it's not a competition, people. And how are we going to progress and learn if we can't? We're here to find the answers. So if we're fighting over, this is what you have, this is what I found, well, yours is wrong, no, mine's right, that's ridiculous. How are we going to progress with that attitude? We have to come together and work together in order to find the answers and speak. So it's all really ridiculous to me. That's why I'm a big advocate of unity, regardless of what anybody else says. So, I'm all about peace and love and harmony, and have nothing to do with the drama or the disputes that go on out there, unless it affects me directly.
Yeah.
So, I just want to bring people together, learn, and have a good time.
Yeah. And it's important to have a community. And I think that's what doing festivals like this do. It helps bring the community, the paranormal community together. And
right.
you strengthen our community, and you strengthen 100 communities along the way, and that's the real big kicker.
Well, I also understand that the price of these tickets to get in there are very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
They're what?
Yes.
$25?
It's $25, correct.
And all of it goes to breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, all of it.
Right, and then of course we're going to have the auction that we've had different people, whether it be, renowned speakers and authors within the field and psychic mediums, just a volume of things that have been donated for the auction, and that's just going to raise even more money. So I mean, it's a really good cause. Anybody who wouldn't want to participate in that, you know, I really feel for them. But not only that, I mean, it's just going to be a fun event. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
we had a blast last year, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been waiting all year for this, so.
And this year everybody's bringing their own umbrellas. Well, it's actually inside this year, right?
Yeah, no rainforest.
It's actually, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, we had a little experience last year. Becca had planned it out on this camp. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about that, but it was really exciting. A lot of people had never been there before, and it was kind of out in the boonies, so
right.
It was kind of hard to come into, but we actually had a really good time.
Yeah,
we had some bad weather hit us, and a lot of people were camping out, and I wasn't camping out. I'd gotten a B&B with a couple of friends, actually, but yeah, just you never know what Texas weather is going to do, so it's kind of hard to plan anything outside anyway, no matter what time of year it is. So we ended up finding a place to move it to indoors since it was raining, so we still had a pretty decent turnout, and it was really fun. So I know this year it's going to be even more fun with it actually being indoors, so having some cool places to investigate.
Yeah, we'll have to get like a 5-gallon thing of Gatorade and just and dunk Becca like the winning coach at the football game. We'll have to do that just so she doesn't miss it.
Well, and I mean, we
so do that. We have to do that, guys.
We completely understand that, though, because we had a gathering at a camp, and
oh my God,
yeah, all of a sudden some torrential sideways hurricane type storm came through, and one guy woke up on his air mattress floating around inside his tent.
Yeah, where his tent was at, there was like 4 inches of water. You know, luckily he was in a Jeep, and like his truck and everything in his vehicle was fine, but everything that was inside his tent was just, I don't want to say ruined. It was floating. But it was floating. He basically paddled his air mattress to the edge of the pond and climbed off. When we showed up the day before, it was like 85 degrees in the afternoon. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And about 3 o'clock that morning, you woke up and it was like 35.
And someone threw a wet blanket on me and went and slept in the truck and left me sitting in.
She was snoring. She was asleep. I didn't want to wake her up. I didn't want to wake you up. I was trying to be nice.
I don't want to wake you up. Hope you catch pneumonia, but I won't wake you up.
But you were snoring.
So yeah, we completely understand about Texas weather.
Yeah.
Because it was at what, Joe Pool Lake?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. But yeah, and I mean, like you said, could you give everybody just real quick, because we're getting a little short here on time. Could you give everybody a real quick rundown one more time of everybody that's supposed to be here this year?
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna have psychic medium Dakota Lawrence, who's actually doing a gallery reading too. That's an additional $25. Also, David Roundtree, Tracy Ray, Kim Gerhard, George R. Lopez, Joe Coutel and Kel Kelly, Fort Worth Paranormal, Unknown Paranormal, Jeremy Jones and Richard Contreras with Paranology, Martha Heiser Decker, Dr. Rita Louise, Lyle Blackburn, Anthony Zepeda and Mike McCaskill, researcher Michael Graves, and of course, Eric and Tim Rossinger. And actually, something else I want to throw in there. Anthony Zepeda, for anyone who doesn't know who that is, he's from Bridging the Gap. He's actually more of a scientific researcher within the field. He and Mike McCaskill, who is a psychic medium with the team that I'm on, and then Paranormal, they have actually conglomerated, if you will, to do a little a battle, I guess you will, a friendly debate on the scientific aspect of the paranormal versus the psychic medium aspect or take on paranormal. So that ought to be pretty interesting in itself.
So it'd be kind of like an average dinner conversation at David and Tracy's house.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well. Got any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be there. It's my birthday weekend. I already got a hotel.
And once again, we just want to remind everybody, running on the ticker on the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see links to go for our festival in the Lower Catskills Paracon, and there's a link to go buy your tickets for the Texas Paranormal Unity Fest. So go check it out.
Come see us.
Shonda, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us tonight about this. We'll be talking to you guys real soon.
Yes, thank you. Like I told you the other night, I'm hoping we can get you guys to come out to Unknown's conference, East Texas Ghost Con, this year, which is going to be October 4th through 6th in 2013 this year. So be sure and put that on your calendar. Come in Marshall. All you listeners out there, check out Unknown Paranormal Radio on Blog Talk Radio Sundays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And also, one more thing I want to ask for anyone who's listening. Please send out some prayers for my teammate and very, very dear friend, Joseph Wild, who lost a friend today, a very close friend of his, like a brother to him. So if you will always please keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and I really appreciate it, guys.
Oh, well, thank you. And along those lines, our prayers go out to him and his family. Everybody, please also remember Tiffany. Tiffany Johnson. She's still healing from the massive stroke she had earlier this week. So, yes. Prayers and warm wishes to her. There's also the Ashton Manor. They're asking for donations to help. They were destroyed in the storms that blew through this week. So.
And OSPH is
also in financial need, severe financial need. So.
Save the hospital.
Yeah. One of our few research facilities. Well, Shonda, once again, thank you for joining with us tonight. And like I said, we'll be talking to you real soon.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see y'all next weekend. Y'all have a peaceful night.
You too.
Thank you, Shonda.
All right, thanks.
Nice.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Let me see. Kim's going to talk to you about the Lower Catskills Paracon while I try to get our next guest on the line.
Well, the Lower Catskills Paracon, May 3rd and 4th in Napanoch, New York, is really kind of building up. We're starting to get a lot of donations offered for the raffle. We have a book that's supposed to be on its way from the UK right now called Tarot Lover's Diary. Miss Patty Starr from Scarefest Ghost Shop, she's offered up a dowsing video and dowsing rods, and so yeah, we're getting all kinds of really cool stuff offered up. And guess who's on the line now?
I know. She's an author.
She is a published author.
She's also going to be a speaker at the Paracon.
And she's got an evil laugh.
Mm-hmm. And eventually she's going to turn her video on.
I was being quiet.
Hi, Mary.
And our very special guest right now is Miss Mary Gaspero. Author, animal communicator, and all-around good egg.
You're embarrassing me.
I'm not embarrassing you, Mary.
I gotta switch things here, so I'm gonna disappear out of the chat room for a moment. But I think I can talk and do that at the same time. You know how I have issues.
Right?
I can't help it.
She got all kinds of prettied up tonight.
That's how I went to work today. I didn't change yet.
Yeah, but it's Friday. I figured by then you'd done had everything ripped off and...
Well, normally yes, but it is so cold out, I decided to keep all my layers on.
So,
I got a little bit of snow, you know, the whole 9 yards, so...
Yeah, your weather up there has gone crazy.
Yep. You need to come back and visit to straighten it out.
Last time I showed up, there was a hurricane. Do you really want me up there?
Yeah, well, maybe you'll reverse things.
I don't know. I'm going up there in May. Hell, the earth may split open and it starts raining frogs. There's no telling what's going to happen.
Oh, wait, you know, you've been up here before. I think when you came was the only time I've ever been to the Shanley where the sun was out.
I keep telling you guys I'm a frickin' ray of sunshine and nobody wants to believe me.
Well, we'll take you on that. Actually, I think that was the first time that I've seen the sun driving to the place when Kim and I went. We're not going to say why we think the sun was out, but you know how that goes.
No. Mum's the word. So, Mary, I understand you wrote this lovely book.
Yes, well, I co-wrote the book. I can't take full credit. Dinah Roseberry and I got to, well, she approached me first. She did Psychic Pets Detectives. I get that name so messed up because it's a long one. And in the book, she writes about how she took me back into that little spot that you go to become, I guess you would say, one with animals, you know, to communicate with animals. So a lot in the book talks about my animals, her animals, Marla Brooks' bird, Bentley, core groups and things like that. And then she has some nice stories in there and some not so nice ones because we all lost some pets in the interim. But that started the whole thing with me. And then when the second book came around, she felt it was kind of natural to drag me into it with her. And we came up with this book, which I'm very, very proud of.
And it's very pretty.
Yeah, the design department at Schiffer did a really great job putting this book together. We weren't sure, you know, for those that are out there listening and have not written a book, once you sign the contract and you hand in your material, your input is almost, you know, we have some say, but we have to rely on the design department to put it all together. And they did a dynamite job for us. I couldn't ask for a better book.
I know. And there's all kinds of conglomerations in there with your little fingerprints on them. There's pictures of Gracie, and
yes.
And our very own Rick Gaspero took some of the pictures.
That's right. You believe that he's still laughing about that. I took him up to the Battlefield bed and breakfast and had him take some pictures of Ferrybury the horse, because Ferrybury is one of the stories that I wrote that's inside the book there, and it's kind of comical, but he must have taken 250 shots of that horse before he got the exact one that we wanted. And he came through. He's a good photographer, I'll give him that.
Yes, we have to give kudos to Rick, and I'm going to have him autograph his picture when I come up.
That's right. So I told him I have some book signings coming up, and I said, you have to come too. He goes, why? I said, because you're in the book. You took a picture, and you got credit for it, so you can actually sign your name right where the picture is. So he kind of laughs about that one. He still can't believe that I have his name put in the book. I said, well, you took the picture.
Right.
I didn't. But, yeah, the book came out 1,000 times better than what I thought. You know, when you're writing a book, you're writing it in bits and pieces, and, you know, you're kind of wondering where this part's going to fit and how you're going to start it, how you're going to end it. The one regret was we got so many stories. When Dinah and I started this journey, we started hitting, like, dog shows and things. And all you had to do was go to management and say, look, you know, we'd like to set up a spot here. And if you could make an announcement, if anybody has any stories that they want to talk about. Well, people were standing in line to talk to us. And we couldn't fit all of the stories in. I mean, I think we have like one in here from one of the people that we were able to interview at some of the shows. Because it was just, people were just pouring in. When it comes to pets, animals, whatever you have, even if you have a fish or a turtle, you know, people get really attached to these things, and they have memories and meanings, and, you know, we were just trying to get a whole selection together to put in. But the book originally started out like a chicken soup for the soul type book, but it ended up being more educational and more inspiring than anything. So, but my apologies to those people who didn't quite make the book. Hopefully we'll be able to use your stories in the future, because we got a lot of really good ones.
I was going to say, that just leaves it open for part 2.
Yeah, well, actually, this would be part 3, because it kind of, like I said, it kind of grew. In her first book, I was in the book, my animals were in the book, and some of the things we did were in the book. So it kind of progressed to the both of us putting this book together. So let's see how, if number 3, how that comes out. Oh, and Mike Morris, he's in the room there. This is your book I'm holding up. He didn't get his. I actually ran out of mailing envelopes, and I just got them today. They were delivered today, so his is going to get popped in the mail.
I already got mine, Mike. I guess when you give out fuzzy Skittles. You gotta wait to the back of the line.
Well, it's alphabetical. K-M. Yeah, I know. But it's pretty exciting. There's a few stories in there that are very near and dear to me. One of them talks about pet grieving, and we're not talking about if I lost a pet, which, God forbid, I don't want to lose any more pets for a while. It has nothing to do with people losing their pets, but it has to do with pets, the other pets in the house. Like in my house, I have 5 cats, and they're their own little community, their own little family. And people don't realize what happens when one of them goes and they're not here. You know, do they mourn like people do? You know, do they get affected? And I talk about that in the book. Another really good story that's in there, and it's not so much a story as it is true, is we have our own, one of Gracie's kittens who grew up, and she's kind of taken like the matriarch, like the overall mommy. For example, we were shaving Belle in the laundry room, and Belle was making all kinds of noise. And next thing you know, you hear this, whoop, whoop, it was like crying out, and Daisy was down there basically telling us to stop. You know, you're hurt, are you hurting her? I mean, she became very protective. So, you know, people say animals don't have feelings and they don't care. That's baloney, because I've seen it in action.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Spanky forever, as long as I've had him, if someone in the house isn't feeling well, he pretty much, even when he was young and spastic, he'd spend the entire day laying with them.
Right. That's, like I said, they're very sensitive like that, and they kind of know. I have one in particular, if I'm having a bad day. Normally she doesn't hang on me, but she does. She knows the minute I walk in the door, you know, if something's wrong or if I'm not feeling well. And she'll end up, if I go upstairs and sit in the recliner to watch television, she's on my lap, and she usually hangs out with Rick. So it's pretty good. I'm kind of honored, well, Dinah and I both are honored, that the foreword of the book is written by Ann McCurdy, and she trains the dogs, the search and rescue dogs, ones that were used for 9/11 and the Kansas City bombing. We had reached out to her and let her know what we were up to in this book, and she jumped at the chance to write the foreword, and she did a really nice job for us in the beginning, and it kind of set the tone for the rest of the book.
That's very cool, though.
Yeah. I'm real happy.
There's all kinds of little surprise packages in that book.
Yeah. Some of them even surprised me. You know, like I said, when you start to write something, it starts to go one way, and then other things get put in there, and you're like, whoa, can people really deal with that? For example, Dinah talks about using the pendulum on healing animals.
Right.
She does that. I don't use the pendulum well. I have used one, but I don't get the reaction like she does. Just like with the dowsing rods, I use dowsing rods, but I don't get the reaction like you do. And one of the things that Dinah talked about in the book in the beginning is the way she and I work together. Being empathic, I pick up the feelings of an animal. We get a lot, for example, we get a lot of calls on people that have lost their animals. And I don't necessarily see where they are as much as I get a feeling or a smell. I've talked about a cat that got lost in a snowstorm. I've told this story a few times, where I felt like I was closed up. I was hungry. I was cold. I felt like I was like on a concrete floor. She could see a white house. We found out that it had been snowing. It was last year, and we had or 2 years ago, and it was a really bad snowstorm. And this cat was missing for 5 days. What happens with a snowstorm? You go out and you shovel the snow, or you snow blow the snow. Dinah kept seeing lawn furniture, a charcoal grill. So with what I was feeling and what she was seeing, logic jumps in, and you say, okay, now it's wintertime. People don't leave their grill outside. They don't leave their lawn furniture. So they either put it in a garage or they put it in the shed. And also, where do you keep your snow blower and your shovels? Either your garage or your shed. So we had contacted the person back and said, look, The cat's still alive. We know that. We feel it's somewhere in a house, whether it's a shed or the garage, of a white house with black shutters. So this woman went around and knocked on people's doors, and for those who weren't home, she put a note on their door. And within an hour, somebody came and dropped the cat off. It was in the shed in the backyard. Here the husband went, opened up the shed, pulled the snowblower out and the shovels, and the cat finally got out after being inside for a couple days from the snowstorm. And what do cats do? They wander into little places that they shouldn't. Probably sat in the back or was sniffing something. The man was done, shut the shed, and that cat was there for 5 days.
Yep.
So, you know, those kind of things happen. Also, we had a case one time where this woman rescued a Labrador Retriever. And it was still not in the, you could let it out in the yard by itself. It bolted whenever it got a chance. And she had just gotten home from the vets with the dog, getting it checked out, the rest of the shots. And she opened up the car door to let it out, and she had it on the leash, and it bolted. The dog was missing for 2 weeks. They thought for sure the dog was dead. They ended up contacting Dinah and I could hear trash trucks, but yet I could hear like cows mooing and like lawn tractors and not so really good smells. She was seeing lots of trees. I forget everything that she was seeing, and it turns out that the dog, now this is disgusting and gross, which is why I said I was smelling unusual, lousy smell. The dog was alive, it was living on the farm, and it was actually living off of a carcass of a dead calf in this gully. And on there wasn't a farm next to it, there was a trash recycling center. So that's where I was hearing like trash trucks and stuff.
Right.
But the dog was found, brought back home, and it's alive today. And last I heard, it went to dog training school and happily ever after.
Well, at least it was found.
Yes, yes. Thank God we haven't come across the situation where it was too late. But one of the things that I don't like is the fact that, you know, we get a lot of calls. I know I do. I know she does, and sometimes she handles it on her own. But we've gotten calls from people who have to make a decision on putting their animal down. And that's a very hard decision to make, because they need to know that it's mostly dogs. Nothing more can be done. And also to let the dog know that, you know, they love them, and, you know, because they love them, that they're willing to let them go. It's very emotional.
Yeah.
And you have to make the decision.
That was not a decision I would want to make.
No, it's not. Or the ones that have, and they feel really guilty, and they just need to be consoled that they did the right thing.
Yeah.
It's not all happiness at times, but, you know, if in the end we can help the people that are here, then it's a plus.
Absolutely.
I don't believe that, Mary. I think everything you're involved in is all rainbows and unicorns.
Funny, Eric. I wish it was.
You gonna take that off of him?
I was being very complimentary.
He controls the buttons, so I'll agree with him.
He who controls the buttons rules the world.
Exactly.
Well, along with your topic of animals and everything, we have a portion of all the proceeds from our Paracon goes to an animal rescue.
Yes, I'm loving every minute of that one.
Which is always a good thing. Save the critters.
That's right. You know, I tip my hat off to all these people. I'm involved with not one particular rescue. I'm fortunate enough, like I'm part of like a web of rescues. We primarily do cats, but we do get dogs.
Right.
Gotten assortment of exotic birds. And if it wasn't for people that are out there that are willing to go and do some of the things that you see on television, you know, they go into really nasty situations where there's hoarders, sad stories. I mean, you know yourself, Kim, I'm always sending you pictures of, I need to find a home for this particular cat. You know, and then they're usually not the little kittens They're the ones where, it's female cat, 12 years old, owner had to surrender because, they got sick and died, or, they got allergic, which cracks me up, because how can you have something for 12 years
and then
all of a sudden get allergic?
Right.
Now, people that have animals, the majority of them, they do really take care of them. And it's not unusual to have a cat live to be 18, 20 years old. And at age 12, yeah, it's an older cat. But can you imagine an animal that's lived with this person for 12 years and then all of a sudden is uprooted and put somewhere else? And we ran with that situation a little over a year ago with one of the cats that I sold from Gracie's first litter. The woman, after 7 years, decided she couldn't take the long hair anymore, so she took him over to the SPCA. I found out about it 3 days later and frantically made calls there. I was on my way on vacation. Please hold the cat for a couple days. I have somebody coming to pick it up. And I kept him for a while because he was sick from the stress of being in the SPCA, and my daughter ended up taking him. But, people don't understand, and you and I did a show about this back in December. Just don't get something because it looks cute. You're investing a lifetime of that animal, and it should not be short term. They have feelings too, and, if you're not going to do the long term, then just look the other way and don't take it.
It's the same thing people told Kim about me when we first met.
Well, you're an exception to the rule.
Well, like I told you the other day, my daughter has her cat. Well, her grandma has her cat, the one cat now. But PJ's gonna be 20. I mean, and he's still going.
Yeah.
You're not gonna pick them. If you're gonna pick them out, keep them. I mean, look at Jimmy. And we were pretty much not told the truth about his breed. We were expecting something slightly bigger than Spanky by the time he was done.
And instead you got a miniature horse.
Yeah. We went from Black Lab and Jack Russell to Black Lab and Great Dane.
Yeah, he's a big one. And a sweetheart at that.
Oh, he is the biggest sweetheart. He's not feeling well today.
Aw. I'll have to check him out later.
We think he got into something, but I don't know where he got into it at because we've made sure he can't get into things. So I don't know what he did.
Believe me, they find it.
Well, especially
if there's something, they'll find it.
Well, Mary's not explaining that she has this one cat, the smart cat, the cat that looks like a cow, who can find catnip bags.
Oh, yes.
In 20 layers of plastic. She will hunt them down, find every last one of them, and they're hers.
That's right. That's right. Well, they have good sniffers.
She is. Mary brings in new catnip bags every year for Christmas. Doesn't matter where she puts them or how she disguises them, Lily will find every one of them.
That's right. She's the one that when you look at her, she looks like the quiet type. But I think she gets the rest of them in trouble.
Always the most dangerous.
Yes. And most people that have pets, they usually have more than one. It's very rare that somebody has a dog or a cat. They usually have at least two. That was one thing we found out when we did the research on the book. And then there's people like me that don't know when to stop.
Well, you and my daughter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She's not far behind you. I think you have one more than she does. Only in reverse. Hers are all boys except one.
Yeah. Once you get hooked, you're hooked, and that's for sure. Another thing I wanted to talk about is I'm going to be doing some research coming up very soon, like in March and April. I'll be heading with Mark Sarrow to Eastern State Penitentiary April 27. We're doing an investigation. And he's writing a book on haunts of Philadelphia. And it's kind of like an honor for me that he asked me to co-lead with him, because Mark is a very serious investigator, and I consider him one of the best. So it was an honor when he asked me, hey, can you co-lead? I want your help in doing the investigation, and you know how much I've been dying to go to Eastern State. So I have a little method to my madness, because I want to see if I pick up any EVPs of animals. Because I'm noticing places that I'm going to, like the Battlefield Bed and Breakfast, and of course, up at the Shanley, there's that cat running around that nobody sees, but we're all picking up the EVPs.
Did you see the video, though?
I heard Sal told me to go look at that video. I haven't checked it out yet, but I plan on it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness is all I'm going to say on that video.
I heard. Maybe you can explain to people exactly what's on that video.
Okay, at the Shanley, there's a cat. It's not alive. You can't see it. It's not physically in the building, breathing, etc. When you walk up and down the steps, you'll get the sensation of a cat rubbing up against you. Almost everybody who I've heard of has got at least one EVP of this cat meowing. When Mary and I were up there at the beginning of November, we're standing outside talking to Mike, and I hear a cat. So I'm like walking around looking for the cat, and then I went, don't, the V8 slap, because, hello, there's the cat at the Shanley. But usually it's inside, to my credit. Usually it's inside, so I wasn't expecting it outside. There's this video. You have to go to Sal or the Shanley fan page, wherever, and look for this video. It's on YouTube. You can get it. What is it? Shanley Hotel Ghost Cat, I think is what it is.
Right.
Up on the 3rd floor, literally, out of one, you're watching the video, and Sal's explaining about the cat he had there. And then they put the camera up on the 3rd floor, and you can see a cat, but it's not a full cat. You get like the outline, and you get the back end of it, but the rest of it's clear, see-through, whatever. And this cat literally comes out of one door and walks and then goes into another door.
All right.
But you can see the tail, you can make out the back legs and the back hips, but that's it.
Right.
And it's
it's crazy, and that's what he tells me. And people do hear it live. Sal and Jen in the chat room, they have an EVP where you hear a cat meow, and you hear Jen saying, "Did you hear that cat?" I mean, she heard it real time, so that's really cool. I've heard the cat twice, but I also have it on audio too. So my goal is one of these times we go back, I want to catch it on my trap cam.
Well, I heard it outside, because I'm walking around and you're looking at me.
Steps,
You're looking at me going, "What are you doing?" I'm looking for that cat. Oh, God.
You won't see it, but it's there. It's actually, in the beginning when I first started going there, you kind of sort of heard it, maybe on an EVP, like, was that a cat? Or,
Right.
But it's becoming more and more frequent that people are hearing this cat. And that's one of the reasons why I brought up the Eastern State and the Shanley is I would like to start doing research on just attracting animals on an investigation. I know up in Gettysburg, and this is a bizarre story that I've talked about before. The second time I've ever had visual was a half a horse walking through a field with a half a soldier on top of it. I've gotten some EVPs of I'm not sure what kind of animal up there. It's hard to say because my audio, I usually leave my audio running at night. I have a couple audio recorders throughout. I know I definitely got cats, but there's something else I'm not sure what it is. So it'd be interesting to see exactly what kind of animals you do pick up on investigations.
If you remember when we were up there in October, Deborah Heinecker said she could hear pigs squealing right before the slaughter, too.
Right. Yeah, we should put a recorder in that room. I know we'd be picked because that was a tack room, part of the barn. You'd pick up all kind of things in there.
Apparently, Sal just watched the video and he's like, "That's awesome."
Well, that's probably the cat that Jen heard.
That's an amazing piece of data. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it when you hear something in real time and you pick it up on a recorder.
Yes.
That is just unbelievable. But anyway, getting back to my book.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Yes. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and you can get it directly through shipper. It should be hitting bookshelves this week because it was available in printing to the world on January 28th. So,
it's not just pre-order now; it's real book, people.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'll give you that.
And you've already gotten some really good reviews on it.
Oh yeah, look, I got to tell you about this. It's overwhelming to see somebody post your book and then write this wonderful comment, and then other people, yeah, I read it, it's really good, and they chat back and forth, and you're sitting there, should I comment, shouldn't I, and people are including my name, so it goes to my wall, right? So I try to be humble about it, but in the same token, I'm like, oh my God, my name is on that book, and yes, I remember writing.
Well, and it's also by other authors.
Yes.
Because I mean, the one has written 3 books and is working on 4, 5, 6, and 7, I think, right now. But she took your book to the doctor's office with her the other day.
Oh yes, yeah. I wasn't sure where you were going with that. Yes, Geraldine from the Kelly Green Men. Yeah, that was. When you have another author that writes about how well your book is written, that means a lot. Because the average person, which would normally be me, I pick a book up and read it. I don't see mistakes. I don't see something out of line or whatever. I just read it because I like the story content. But when others read it, and they have written, or they're scholars of sorts, and they private message you, and they say, we have not found one thing wrong with that book. And I'm like, phew. They're your toughest critics.
Well, and Geraldine is also a cat lady.
Yes.
I tease her about being a hoarder because she has like 14 cats, but most of them are outside.
Right.
But she has a lot of cats.
She's far surpassed me in the cat department. That's for sure.
Yes. Her and Cynthia both have you completely beat.
Yeah. But as far as animal communicating and such, I think the majority of people, they can communicate with animals. It's up to them to choose to do so. I mean, a perfect example, tonight I was cooking dinner, and I could feel Dory standing behind me. I mean, she stares.
Yes. But she's also the vocal one, usually.
Yeah, but sometimes she'll keep her... Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to use her as an example. I'm going to talk about Lily. Lily has laser beam eyeballs, and they go through you, and she doesn't have to move, she doesn't have to say a word, she doesn't even have to breathe funny, and I'll roll my eyes, Lily, I'll be with you in a minute, and I turn around, and there she is, and she's just giving me that look. People dismiss things like that, but that is a form of communicating with an animal. Sometimes they give you the look, and I'm like, no, I'm not going out. I'm not opening up that patio door yet. Or no, you're not getting your treat right now. I find myself having conversations with these cats, and my husband's like, they don't know what you say. He used to say that. Excuse me. He used to say that. Now, he doesn't, because he sits back and he watches, and I'll say, watch, she's going to do this. Boom. She goes ahead and she does this, right? He goes, how did you know that? Because I know. I know my animals. I know my cats.
Well, that's like you screaming at them the other day for running around the house. Just 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, that was for reasons that I'm not going to announce on the air.
Well, I wasn't going to announce it either. I was just saying you knew from the sound of it which one it was and why she was doing it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, if God says, hey, I'm going to give you the gift to be able to communicate with animals, I'm going to say thank you very much. It's like a winning lottery ticket, because I really get so much enjoyment, in dealing with mine, dealing with others. There's a couple of really funny stories that I wrote that were true, that are in this book, that talks about communications I got hit with that I wasn't prepared for, and I'm like, where's that coming from? You see this horse looking at you, or you see this cockatiel looking at you in a cage, staring right at you, and you try to avoid it, and it happens again, and like, whoa. So.
Well, and poor Mary, to her defense, cannot even get on Skype and talk to me without my cat showing up.
I don't mind that. Oh, and then you were part of that thing a few weeks ago where, this is a really weird story. I'm at work, and all of a sudden, I hear this name Gus yell out across the showroom. And I'm looking around thinking, okay, somebody's here with somebody else, and they're, Gus is wandering around. But, how'd they get in without me knowing it? And it was only the one shout-out of Gus, G-U-S, and think, okay, fine, I'm hearing things. Maybe it was something came through the radio. I go home. I'm laying in bed. Gus, right? What? What's this all about? And I swear I saw, in my mind's eye probably, this medium-sized dog that was black and white. Now, you remember the story.
Mm-hmm.
I was going crazy trying to figure out whose dog was Gus. Okay, I didn't know anybody that had a dog by the name of Gus. Well, as the story unfolds, one of my friends out in California has a friend who has a son that has a dog that's black and white, and the dog's name is Gus. And I'm like, well, this dog's got a problem with its ear. Mm-hmm. Its ear is hurting really bad. And here I got confirmation, back door. I mean, I couldn't go to these people, this one particular group, because they think I'm nuts anyway. But I did go to my friend who got all the information, and sure enough, this dog had a really bad ear infection, so bad that the other dogs that were there were licking the dog's ear. And they took the dog over to another house so that it would get some rest from the other two dogs. Now, I didn't ask for that. It just happened. But sometimes you get information and you're not sure where it goes. So I was lucky enough to know somebody who knew somebody across the states. Was it that dog? I don't know, but it sure fit the description, and it sure fit the ailments that went with it.
And if that wasn't bad enough, she wanted to drag me in it with her.
Oh, I like partners in crime, and you just happen to be there. Normally it would be Dinah, but she hasn't been feeling too well the last few months, so I'm picking on you now.
Well, and Dinah said, Kim. So she threw me under the bus, too.
We got cookies.
No, and speaking of Dinah, she, with her not feeling so well the last few months, it's kind of put the pressure on me to stand on my own and do this, because we've always worked as a pair. We do things differently. Like I said, I have the empathic skills, and she deals with the light beings, and we get our information and put it together that way. And so it was kind of scary there in the beginning, because I'm like, I can't do this. I always. And for some reason, the floodgates opened up, and I'm getting hit more and more every day. The problem is I have to trust myself on the information that I receive and go with it. But I no longer have the crutch of having somebody else that I can lean on, at least temporarily right now.
Well,
so I put on my big girl pants.
Yeah, but you can always vent to me.
Yeah, I send it over to you.
As it should be.
Like I told you, I like a partner in crime, and you fit the bill right now.
Hey, I'm the best partner in crime she's got. I'm close enough to where she can vent and yell and scream and whatever, but I'm far enough away to where she can't quite punch me in the arm.
Oh, come on now. That day when I called you up, you were right on it.
Hey, I do what I do.
You rolled with it.
Mary, if you ever think she needs a good solid punch in the arm, you just let me know.
Absolutely.
Hey, this is not how this works.
It is
no,
now.
I wouldn't want you to punch her. She's a good co-host and a good friend.
I'm an animal, and I'm just trying to impact the world.
Well, then leave my shoulder out of it. This is not the world.
It could be.
Mary's the guest. Quit it.
Yeah, I'm the guest tonight.
Sorry.
I'm on the opposite side.
Let me slide away from all the rainbows and unicorns, and I'll go back to my furry little hole over here.
I would like to mention almost 3 years ago, was the first time Mary ever did an Internet TV Network interview. Where? On this show.
Yeah, that's right.
Aha, I didn't forget.
That's right. I do remember that. I was talking about, what was I even what I was talking about?
You were talking about animal communications.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was the early day. I think Dinah was supposed to join me that night, and something happened, and she didn't, and I'm like...
Yes, you were talking about the cockatoo.
Oh, Marvelous Bird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bentley?
Yep. Bentley, my very first.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep, see?
Yeah, 3 years later, here I am. I'm an author now.
3 years. She thought in 3 years she could get rid of me. Didn't happen.
Nope. Yeah, I got to watch how I handle this book because, like I said, this is Mike Morris's book.
Just stick some skills between the page and smush it.
Nah, I'll be nice to this book. He gets a good book. He gets a nice fresh book here. So anyway, but yeah, I'm happy.
And you're getting ready to do book signing?
Yes, I have a couple lined up. I'm happy about that. I'll be nervous, write your name in the book. Yeah, I'll write it.
And she will be doing her first speaking engagement as an author at an event.
Yep. At the Lower Catskill Paracon. That'll be exciting. Now, the one thing that I'm really happy about with getting a book like this out there is for those that are just kind of, well, actually I may be wrong because the people that you really want to read this would never consider buying a book on animals.
Right.
Okay? It'll just reinforce people who are like us. And I'm also hoping that for those that are on the fence as to whether or not they're an animal communicator or they can hone the skill of being an animal communicator, that this will maybe put them in the right direction. The ending, the conclusion, is my favorite part of the book, and not just because I wrote it. Well, maybe yes, because I wrote that part, and editing didn't touch it. But I wrote from the heart on how I felt, and I kind of gave a little bit of a poke to people on the animals have been here a lot longer than we are, and maybe it's time that we kind of take a step back and just watch them and learn from them.
Right.
So.
Sure.
Yeah, we're not sitting
anyway.
Watching you.
Nobody ever watches me.
Nobody, right.
Yeah, nobody cares.
As Mary rolls her eyes, yeah.
It's all rainbows and unicorns, Mary.
That's right. All rainbows and unicorns.
Well, do you have anything coming up or anything going on you would like to plug before we skedaddle out of here, seeing we already kept you much longer than we said?
Well, actually, you can catch us Monday night on Just Saying, where we have Jody Cook on as our guest. That's the newest thing that's coming up for me. The book signings that I have are local right now, so most of the people in the listening area and the viewing area, besides Misha, may not be able to go, but I'll be posting them on Facebook. Planning an investigation this March at Fort Mifflin. It's going to be on a Sunday night. Do you believe all of their Friday and Saturday nights are booked for the entire year?
That is so cool.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm just so happy about that because that's something that all of us that go there and support the fort have been pushing for, to have a completely full schedule. So we'll be going on a Sunday night, as I said about going to Eastern State. I'll be working with Mark Sarrow, and Sal and Jen will be joining us. I'm trying to get Mike, to join us at Fort Mifflin because it's going to be a night that he's off from work and the next day. So I've got that in March, Eastern State in April, beginning of May, 3rd and 4th. I'll be up at the Shanley there with you guys. So it's moving along.
Your schedule's filling up. But I heard if you take a string and tie it around a Philly cheesesteak and hold it up with a broomstick, Mike will follow it into the fort.
Oh, yeah.
He was followed into fire.
I've seen him eat a cheesesteak, trust me. He would walk over hot coals to get one. Poor Mike.
We don't get any chances to pick on Mike, so, you got to take them when they're fresh.
Especially when he can hear them. We can pick on him all the time. He can hear them now.
Yeah, he's too funny. But he'll, we need someone to see what salad gender is. Well, Mike thought it was funny. It's true. He's like the Raid of ghosts. Spray the Raid, to get that's him. I've never met anybody. I mean, we could all be there, full body apparitions. Mike walks into the room, poof, they all disappear. So they could actually do a sci-fi show with Mike.
Mike did get some EVPs in the basement at the bed and breakfast. No, true. Not even that one. We did get EVPs and not his
gaseous anomalies.
Yeah.
Well, we decided that we're gonna give Mike a new spin. That's the old Mike. But no, I was getting ready to say, wouldn't he be cool doing like a sci-fi show where Mike's quest? That's what you could call it. Is he going to this time? Is he going to get the evidence he's been looking for? He could probably do 3 or 4 seasons of a show like that.
Or he could follow around the other hosts on the shows, and when they say something is evil or demonic, just have Mike walk in. It'll leave.
Yeah. I told Mike you got to get business cards made up. People that have got a lot of activity in their house and they want to get rid of it.
Ghost remover.
Just send Mike over.
Yeah.
Gone.
Who are you going to call?
Mike.
Mike. We love you, Mike.
We do.
I needed that good laugh.
But we are getting near the end of the show. Buy the book. Buy the book. If you
buy the book, but not this one, because this is Mike Morris's book. Oops, is that ketchup on the front? Sorry, Mike. I'll wipe it off.
Won't be the only ketchup that ever hits that book, trust me.
Yeah, nothing. He doesn't waste anything. No, it's in perfect condition, Mike. I promise.
For now.
Anyway, but yeah, again, you can get this book, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and it's through Shipper Publishing. You can order it directly through Shipper.
And if you catch Mary at a book signing or an event, she will have them with her, and you will get them signed then.
I'll even put your name on it.
That's right.
Oh, well. Well, thanks for having me on tonight. It was fun.
Well, thank you for joining us. We had to get your book out there as much as we can get your book out there. Not that it's not a good book. We just want to advertise a lot.
Yes, true. That's true. I like holding it up. Mike's book.
Mike's book. Mine's over there, Mike. I already got mine.
You know what? If I wasn't going to send him a book, I got to send him a one now.
Right?
Everybody's watching this.
There were no witnesses, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, really.
But anyway, we got to get out of here. Finish it.
Yep.
Good night, everybody. Be safe.
Monday, Jody Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Next week we have, now my brain froze, Brian Yount from Ohio Paranormal Research.
And on Thursday night on Yakking with the Yeti, I will be talking with another animal, not so much communicator, but an advocate. She's been on before, Andrea Dean Van Skoik. I just butchered her name so bad. She used to be a writer, an author. She's kind of retired from writing, but she has taken up animal advocacy, hardcore. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff on Thursday too.
Tune in every night, something different, something live every night.
And live and undead.
That's right. And with that, we're out of there. Say good night, Mary.
Good night, Mary.